Aloha, brilliant souls. How are you all? Sending lots of love, golden sparkling Christos light, honey amber plasma with sparkling fragments of rainbow from across the universe. This is Marissa Indigo tuning in from Divine DNA Blueprint. I had to take quite a respite away from producing content. It has been quite an amazing time, full of initiations, activations, expansions, and contractions. So, welcome, welcome. Let us take a deep breath in together and exhale out. Feeling that heart expand, the gratitude pulsating across the universe as we breathe, as our hearts beat as one. I've been so excited to come on and share what I've been receiving. And first, I wanted to just begin with, I started receiving about midway through June, and then we got hit with the Magnanimous summer solstice. And that's also my daughter's birthday, so it's a double whammy of magic. But what I started to receive mid-June was July and August are going to be hot. They're going to be hot, 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 and I'm not just talking about the sun, not just talking about the solar activity, which is incredible right now, but that's a big part of it. It's also activating our own inner sun, our own Christos. And as such, when we get hit with mega photonic light like this, it activates, brings up, resurrects, triggers, does so many things for us for our journey of consciousness to continuously expand, that we may be so blessed to continue to grow into who we are, who we have always been, as more and more veils are dissolved. Life becomes simpler. Our process becomes simpler. We are really starting to focus in more on the core essence of our being, living from a soul-based place as the golden race. So that's what I started to hear in June. It's going to be a hot summer, a lot of initiations. June, as I shared in the Diamantine Codes video, we had the diamond pressure codes, that beautiful under pressure, right? Getting a lot of pressure, getting a lot of heat, perhaps some dips into the dark, back out, down, contracted into the human aspect, to see more, to release and transcend, and to love and integrate. And with this integration, we feel ourselves getting stronger and stronger and stronger, feeling the tipping point of our light quotient, so that we are experiencing more ease and flow on a daily basis, more of our own personal magnetism coming from our trueness, from our realest, most core space of being as a soul spark of the divine, less impacted by the baggage or the story, but instead, as I have said for so many years, our poison becomes medicine. We alchemize the pain of the past and come forward with a new resolve, a new strength, seeing how our individual human experience as a spiritual being here is our story, part of our medicine. So we flip everything, right? Everything is upside down when we first come in. And so what was perceived as weakness or darkness or unworthiness, all these things, well, when we flip those up into the higher realms, we start to look at it from an energetic and a light quotient kind of standpoint, where you can start to actually see the quantum mechanics, the geometries, the light, the vast amounts of energy that each experience translates into, which increases our light. It's all perception, right? So let us bring it back through the lens of heaven, bringing down heaven on earth. So here we are in July, and it's already hot. The solar activity has been off the charts. Please keep your eyes out for a special podcast I created going more deeply into how to master ourselves during these peak solar experiences, as density is magnified, as it is pulled forth from us to see, to be witnessed, and to be loved, not to downward spiral and to get lost again in the past, but to bring it all into the now and to converge it all, collapsing it all in the portal of the heart, in the now moment, in the light. So that's a little bit of the process that I've been in and been witnessing and finally been able to put into words to transcribe for you all. So thank you for being here. I wanted to share now the golden plasma, the golden codes of the Christos, which started coming in after the solstice, the summer solstice in June. everything became gold. I was really starting to notice the sunset and the sunrise, how things are just illuminated in gold, the sun glimmering on the trees and the birds flying in the buildings, everything illuminated in gold. And then we got hit the weekend after the summer solstice with the KP index popping off the charts, and we were all just flattened pancakes, just crawling around, integrating so much light. We were just completely physically exhausted. It's very important to surrender to the light body's needs, because as we continue to enhance and increase our light quotient, you're going to start to sensitize and realize that there are different spaces of being where you can feel depleted of light and you need to take a pause, have a little respite, build it back, or you're just completely beaming, overflowing with light, and you've got more energy to tackle all of the things, to be present, to show up, to light up the world. So this is going to be part of the initiation of the summer for many of us who are newer to the process of the light body, and really sensitizing to your own light quotient and your own inventory. For me personally, I can tell my light is low when I start to feel susceptible to darkness, when things start to bring me down. I can literally feel them pulling me down. So that's when I know, okay, yeah, my light quotient is decreasing and it's time to pull back. It's time to rest and really do the beautiful things, really taking in the content and the sounds and the light and the colors and nature, and simplifying, gazing at the sky, really starting to simplify the content coming in to rebuild light from the inside out, because we are really starting to embody being the living suns, SUNS, of God through the heart chakra. So the intensity, when I say it's going to be hot, and it is already, right? Physically, metaphorically speaking, spiritually, the cosmic weather with the sun, all of the cosmic radiation, the neutrinos, these incredible plasma codes coming through. These initiations are vast, and we're going to start to see even more of a contrast in the bifurcation between the realities, right? As more and more and more are going through the 4D kind of battle matrix program, we're kind of in between the old self and the higher self, authentic self. And you may experience a lot of tussling with the ego, very old memories coming up, old experiences that were kind of cause almost a cutting sensation on your spirit, where people were cruel or you had these experiences. You could find these memories just coming up out of nowhere, like, wow, I forgot that happened, and that really impacted me at that time. These are opportunities for us to witness in our current state of conscious awareness events we experienced and all who were involved, and to kind of resolve that into the light. So when I say, or share rather, what guidance has deposited for me, it's going to be a hot summer. July and August are going to be hot. What's happening here is the solar activity, as it continues to increase, and we're being pelted with waves of photonic light and so much more. This is impacting our own individual personal sun. So this is our own interaction with divine will. And we are in now an accelerated period, which began on the summer solstice, of the next 6 months, which takes us through to prepare us on all levels for the winter solstice. So all the different things that I have shared about what we may be experiencing in an intensity and polarization, learning through contrasting experiences and observations to then find our own center. This is all an activation of our own third chakra in the original 3D human biology system, the will center, and really starting to match divine will, our divine mission, all of our alignment. So the authentic being is going to be coming forth more and more. And this is where I talk about kind of that internal battle program, as we are really starting to uncover the true and higher self. And that is trying to form a balance with the old self, the old story. As we're going more and more into our divine mission and our divine purpose, our being starts to really simplify. So anything that is inauthentic or expired or ready to be transcended is going to come up. So we are in an accelerated period now for the next 6 months to prepare us. And I will have more coming in on the winter solstice or the December solstice as we get closer to that point. Right now, what's important is for us to start to understand and to practice this state of pure beingness, aligning on a daily basis as our priority with higher self, with our divine will, and allowing the shedding to continue, these old layers peeling back. And there can be a lot of triggering with this. Again, I mentioned the solar Ascension guide video. I highly recommend checking that out because it really goes into detail on how the electromagnetics of all of this cosmic radiation impact us on all the different levels of our being, and how these magnetics are pulling out the old as we are building new earth, reconstructing it from within. Another thing that has come through is this concept of terraforming. We are terraforming our own selves, all the inside job, through all of these different experiences as we keep collapsing it back into the one, into the unified aspect of our beingness. And this is rebuilding our entire life stream as we reconstruct our own geometries, our energy fields, aligning it all to the source creator codes. And so this divine golden honey amber plasma is a tool for us, with gold being such a high frequency amplifier with magnetics of energy, and it is used as a particle accelerator, and thus an accelerator of our consciousness and of our evolution, our manifesting capabilities. So when the heat is being brought on as it is, it's an activation so that we are starting to burn away. It's kind of this beautiful karmic process. In yoga, we talk about tapas, and it's this purification that's happening. It's quite rigorous. It can be quite intense. So plenty of self-care, plenty of awareness, self-tenderness, self-love, inner child kind of focus. These are all the things that I support through my soul sessions. So that is kind of more of an in-depth breakdown on what the guidance has been transcribing when they say it's getting hot. It's an inside process. Again, preparing us. We are in a deeply accelerated process now so that we can be aligned with our highest timelines, really quantum jumping. Now all of this work rolling in this next 6-month period here between now and the winter solstice. So I want to paint a picture for you of this energetic as we are in this, sometimes feeling back and forth, and you could have these exalted periods of expansion where you are definitely feeling yourself easily existing in the heart center, in the heart gate, stargate, portal, in more of the 5D and 7D mechanics of reality of heaven on earth, and then sometimes can get pulled back as we are triggered by something. And it's all part of the game. We are straddling between worlds. We are going one foot in front of the other across the bridge and looking back over our shoulder often to see who's coming, who's ready, who's not ready, and resolving and being cool and neutral with all of it. So I want to share a little bit of my experiences, which were intense, which also led to me having to pull back to integrate and come back with more light to share, to, really share the reality of our experiences of a spiritual being, having a human experience, all the different things that we could encounter, and how to cope, how to transcend, how to bring the highest light into all of these experiences when they can be challenging. The human ego will consistently be challenged, and it is up to us to choose in each moment because we have the freedom. We're celebrating the freedom codes and the paradise codes. We always have the freedom to choose how we will respond. So there is that luxury of a pause between a perhaps reactive state to something or a pattern, a program, and we're in the process. And when I say straddling between the worlds, and we are mostly maybe in the 5D, 7D, and then we go back a little as we're processing, as we're integrating, as we're clarifying, we're becoming more and more and more crystalline. And this is also an entrainment that's happening neurologically. So when you snap back into the past, so to speak, or get triggered by an old story or an old pattern, it's really important not to berate ourselves for this, because this is our neurology rewiring itself. And of course, there are going to be synaptic firings through the old wirings as we rebuild them. You could almost imagine like these golden wires of your neurology, and you are soldering them with the new light, with your conscious awareness, with your focus, with your practices. As we know, all of these transitions can take 30 to 45 days, 90 days, some of them much longer than that. So it's very important to have patience and compassion, and to remember that the divine loves you. The divine loves us. So I'm going to share a little bit about my experiences that I've had and how I was shown to navigate, because I feel the best way to teach is to share what we have experienced. It makes it more tangible and realistic for you to apply these to your own life and share this wisdom with others. So I had an experience right before we were going to leave for our West Coast gridworkers trip. Quarterly, right now, we are invited to go all the way down the West Coast, where we tour through 3 states at once within a 24-hour period, 12-hour period, going from northern Washington all the way down to Southern California. And it was a lot, of course, energetically speaking, to prepare for this trip. It was a trip for my daughter's birthday. She turned 13, which is a major milestone. So needless to say, there was a lot of linear preparation, which requires a lot of light. You know, the linear processing, you're going to start to notice it zaps a lot more energy from you than the quantum processing. But there are instances where, depending upon our life and our roles and all of our missions, that we do have linear things to tend to. So the few weeks leading up to the solstice were already intense with the energetics building for that gateway. A lot of release, a lot going on, a lot of emotions about this transition for my daughter to become 13 and to prepare for this major road trip. And the week before we were going to leave, my dear cat Luna, some of you know, you've seen her in some of my videos. She is a Lyran ambassador. She is a black lioness. She got very ill and had to have an emergency surgery. And so this is literally the 2 days before we are leaving to go on our trip that she got very ill, and I had to take her to an emergency hospital, and a couple times thought that I might lose her. And there were these very extreme polarized experiences of having to surrender to the fact that I might lose her, and I would have to be also rectifying that with my own feelings that it's not her time, we still have a lot of work together, so trying to reconcile the human and the attachments, right, with the star being, with the light being, with the higher self, and with the divine. So a lot of reconciliation. So needless to say, of course, that was an emotional roller coaster. It was very intense. So she ended up having emergency surgery. Let's see here, it was 2 nights before we were going to leave. This was on a Friday. And then we had to leave her, and thank goodness my mom was able to take care of her because we couldn't cancel the trip. It was my daughter's birthday and all these things. So it was very much that old human dynamic of between a rock and a hard place, all this stuff. So long story short, she did great. She's doing fantastic. She's here with me right now. We're cuddling up. We always take our naps together to rest when the KP index is spiking like crazy, as it has been. And it's just been a complete miracle in her recovery. I honestly thought that she was going to leave the planet and I was going to have to be okay with that. So of course, that was a very intense experience. And then we come down into Southern California, going through Shasta. I've got some beautiful clips here I'm going to share with you, and some beautiful photos of our trip with Shasta and the different light codes received. But then we had a whole other intense experience because obviously, as many of you may know, when you have emergency services for your beloved allies, our animal allies, and our familiars, it can be a very, very costly experience. So that kind of shifted how we were going to go about our trip, and it was major. So needless to say, some major themes of the human: death and mortality, right, and the loss of a beloved friend potential, right, just to share these like core essences of experiences that we encounter on the path. So there's that, and then there's also the financial piece. And in our light, in our higher self aspect, we know and have embodied the reality that it is our light and our light body and the magnetism of our heart center that magnetizes our financial abundance. We're creating in the quantum financial system, the quantum light system. But we still have linear moments, of course, right? So in all of this intensity, I allowed my human to go through what it needed to do to process fear and the unknown and all of these. You want to let the feelings arise, let the trauma arise, honor the process, right? And if you are unfamiliar, I do have some amazing videos on mastering our emotions and doing that whole process mindfully and moving the energy through, because it's all energy and information. If you look back on my Entering New Earth Mastery series here on the channel, that will provide further support on those topics. So anyway, I'm always an advocate to deal with what is arising so that we can return back to clarity. And it's not, oh, get over it, get over with it, move on, this is beneath you. There's no thinking like that. This is what it is. This is part of the human experience. We signed up to experience a wide range of emotional frequencies, energies, and information, also emotion, right? So I allowed all of these to arise. And then I was hearing from higher self and guidance, let it all fill in with gold. all gold all the time. These were the gold codes that started to come in. And my friend, her star being dear friend, was making us fresh squeezed orange juice. And we were having all of these kind of golden foods, these fruits, pineapple and mango and apricot and peach and nectarine and all of this gold peach kind of solar plexus activation of the solar sun as this huge activation is happening for all of us. And I kept hearing all gold all the time, all gold all the time, just allow. And I was shown these visuals of us. So as we are having our human experiences, some of them very challenging, there's a lot going on to challenge us right now, right? To continue to support the expansion through contrast, for us to continue to grow in our love light. And I was shown this visual of the beautiful energy coming from the galactic center and the grand central sun of the divine. And it's a gorgeous honey amber, thick, golden amber honey plasma. And I was shown to just let it flow, let it go, let it glow, and to allow this plasma, visually speaking, to fill in the cracks. The cracks being the unknown, or where we feel disparate energies, where we feel distortion, we're not yet sure how to respond or what to do, or we are suffering from it. The unknown, all of these different elements, allowing this honey amber plasma of the Christos to just pour in, pour over our crowns, pour over our whole life, into our fields, into our life stream, and to surrender. So that was a major, beautiful gift that I received and began to work with, and just unsphinctered myself because, of course, thinking I was going to lose my beloved friend, Luna, not sure how we were going to afford gas, things like that. All of those unknowns, when your light is depleted from stress, it can really pull you down, right? And it can really activate the root chakra, which is actually very important. And so I want to always share with these kind of live demos, these transmissions, as I share my experiences that are happening in live time and how I've come through these squeezy portals of birth canals and out on the other side, how important it is that we do go through these contraction experiences, because we are being squeezed so that more density can be squeezed out of us. So you can see how there's this kind of overlapping of the portals, the gateways, where the diamond light of that purification and that squeezing and that intensity is now kind of coupled. It's like it hasn't really gone away. Now we've got another layer of July, which is the golden light ray, the golden plasma, which is here. So we still have these squeezy moments, these initiations, these unknowns. We are being, redirected, course corrected, right, to different trajectories, and don't know a lot of the pieces of the puzzle, which definitely triggers the human, can enact the control mechanisms, the wanting to control. So here comes this gorgeous honey amber plasma to support the rewrites, cellular levels, activating the DNA, activating the gold codes, humanity, golden race codes for all of us, to soothe, to kind of support filling in the cracks, whatever those may be, in our process. So I was so excited to share these beautiful golden plasma codes with you all. And now we're going to proceed to the activation, which is to sit, take a few breaths, maybe pause this recording for a moment if you want to get some water, if you need to get pen and paper to record anything, whatever you want. So get yourself some beverages, get into a comfy place, and starting to breathe, closing the eyes, quieting the mind, looking downwards, imagining you're gazing through your whole being, looking down into your heart center and looking at the back of your heart chakra at the same time. Just taking a few breaths and really affirming, I'm here now, here in the now, here in the now. Feeling that golden plasma, see it in your mind's eye, like a honey amber dripping down from source, God, creator, consciousness, dripping down for you, like ambrosial nectar of the divine, the soma, the manna from heaven, dripping down over the crown of your head and down over the third eye, nourishing, penetrating into the pineal pituitary hypothalamus complex deep in the brain, supporting our cellular rewrites, supporting an even deeper opening of the pineal and the pituitary and hypothalamus to produce more of the chrism oil to illuminate us within each 30-day cycle, activating our own divine pharmacology within the brain with these golden honey amber hues. So seeing these beautiful frequency rays of color penetrating through the brain, inviting them into the DNA, inviting them into the telomere bundles of the DNA. And you don't have to know what these are. You can look into it later if you want. But just setting the intention for entraining the whole body, all of our fields, and our life stream with this beautiful golden crystalline honey amber plasma of source. And another part of this practice could be to eat golden orange foods, like some of the things I mentioned earlier: orange juice, putting turmeric on everything, having a golden latte, pineapple, mango, all the beautiful, lemonade, really having fun with these beautiful rays of color and imbibing them with beverages and with your food, with your diet. So now just inviting you to think of 3 things, perhaps some things that you are ready to release and transcend, perhaps some things that have been triggering, bothering, all these human terms, the unknowns, the things that are stressful for the human. Because when we contract down into our smallness, we forget how big we are and how capable we are. So whatever it is that is challenging you at this time, just laying it out in front of you like you're putting it out on a table. And now inviting this beautiful liquid gold plasma love light to come down and to fill it in, to pour over it. Imagine this amber gold honey pouring over your entire life, now into the future, into the past, aligning you with the highest timeline, the highest potential, just aligning you with that soothed honey magic, delicious sweetness of the Christos. All is well. Everything always works out. It's going to continue. Just allow the golden ray frequencies to do the work for you. Just all you have to do is stay in the heart space, trust the path, trust yourself, keep focusing on the love that you feel, affirming the divine loves me, and feeling that resonate through your cells, through your being, and pouring that out. We fill our cup and it runneth over, and it pours into our neighborhood, into our community, into our day, into our life, into our service work and our mission. Just breathing with that and feeling that. You can really feel the shift. It's very calming and soothing and lovely, very expansive to our entire being to work with these frequencies of color. So this is the code drop for July. So I thank you so much for joining me. I am available for booking for soul stream sessions or soul alignment sessions if you need support with systemizing and aligning your life, your path, career, perhaps blooming business, whatever you're called to do next. Perhaps physical health. I know a lot of us are working through physical health things right now, so please do feel free to reach out to me. Email me, marissaindigo@gmail.com. And then also a friendly reminder that this whole entire month, all of my courses on the online mystery school, the DDB mystery school, are 50% off. So we have crystalline grid workers, where I actually show you how to activate through the elements and the elemental kingdoms your own crystalline grids within, and how to connect through that way of locking in with Gaia through your own self. I also have a beautiful Lionsgate course and free courses about Ayurveda. We also have now 3 whole series of the light body prana yoga, which is really fantastic if you're looking to get more involved in your body and start to own your Merkaba avatar, start to really take pleasure in your physical body, and you're ready to really heal and transcend any of the judgment, any of the pain and the stories that we have locked in, ready to forgive yourself for anything we have done in our unconsciousness to the body, and now merge with it as a tool, a living crystalline matrix. You'd love Light Body Prana Yoga for that. I thank you so much for joining me. Please remember that you have this beautiful tool of this amazing honey amber golden crystalline light to work with every day. You can surround your families, invite their higher self to come through, and surround your families, surround your bank account, your business, all of your goals, all the things that you're excited about, all the things you're not excited about, the things that challenge you. Work with the honey gold amber plasma and watch how it amplifies and shifts, surrendering in, remembering to practice humility as well, because we will be shown to do things that maybe the human ego doesn't want to do. The human ego's like, oh, that's beneath me. I have a degree, or I have all this experience, da da da, right? So humility, gratitude, and surrender. And I'm just sending you all so much love, friends, for July. It's going to be an amazing, amazing month. Keep working with the gold. Sending you so much love. This is Marissa Indigo signing off. And Luna is here, snoring away, snuggly happy. Sending you all so much love too from the Lyran Nation. Much love. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.